All right, everybody. Lance here, just trying to answer any Q&As if anyone wants to join in while I'm waiting for anyone to come in. I'll look at the market and look at some of the things that I'm considering. Okay, so a few of the positions I've been looking at for possible credit spreads. You see right here, for TSM, they make semiconductors in Taiwan. It was reaching above the Bollinger Bands in blue, just hit a down day, and the RSI is decreasing. So there's a good chance, even without the trends of the general market, there's a good chance that the particular company might go down as well based on these indicators. You can see that the green's decreasing and the red's increasing as well on the DMI. Few other positions I'm considering for Shopify has been decreased quite a bit in the last few days. It was at 1400s, already down to 1190. So that's a big drop, about 10% yesterday, another 2.6 today. So it's at the low end of the Bollinger Band. That essentially shows when there's a 2 standard deviation distance away from the current price or long-term price. So if you see an update here, it's a good chance we might sell a call credit spread somewhere in the 1100s or so. A few others. Google had a pretty big drop today, just with the general market. Went down 4.68%, all the way down to 2753. And RSI is showing that it might continue to decrease in the future. And it might work more with the general market here, but if you see an update in the next few days, you might want to consider selling the put credit spread around 2,700, 2,680 was the low in 3 months. So again, if we see an update, consider around 2,700 and then make it about a 10 whip strike before that. Okay, a few others that I'm considering. Keith's here. Hold on. Hey, Keith, you there? Keith, looks like it's just me and you right now. I was talking about different positions. Hey, you're the only one, Keith. Me and you.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Yeah, I was just looking at a few positions. You're the only one here. I don't have any questions. Feel a little lonely. So what questions do you have for me, or do you want to look any positions out that you currently have?
I don't think I have any questions right now. I just was logging on to see what was going on.
All right. Let me show you a few of the positions I'm considering for the next few days and a few things that I look for. Share screen. You might see a lot of sciencey stuff there. So there's quite a few of the tech companies that decreased quite a bit in the last few days. Don't necessarily want to be entering a lot of positions on these because it might continue to fall. If you look at Google down at 27 and change, big down day today, almost 5% down. But if you look at the last 3 months, the low is 2680. And it had a pretty good uptrend through most of it. So if it continues to go down near that low 27, 2600 range, and then you see a possible up day, might want to consider selling a put credit spread even lower than the 2600, somewhere around 2500 or so. And you can make it a 10 width spread, go around 25, 2490, something of that sort. Shopify was another one. And some of these really got hurt the last few days. Shopify on Monday was in the 1380s, and now it's down to 1190. So it had almost a 10% down day yesterday, another 2.5% today. I wouldn't want to necessarily enter the positions until you see an update because it might continue to decrease. But some of the things that I look for are where are the possible support resistance levels. Last 3 months, this is the low of the last 3 months. If we spread out the time frame to a year, you can see there's a little bit of resistance around June, and there's a bit of a stronger resistance around May and March at the 1,000 level. So if it continues to drop near 1,000, 1,050, that range, and then you see a first update, you might want to consider a put credit spread there. Again, around 1,000, 950, some in that sort, because it might be an oversold position here. We don't know. It could easily bounce back, especially if the triple Qs come back up or not. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to get into it right away because, again, it could continue to drop. But I think it's a good idea to keep a few of these on your radar. So for my watch list, I made a moat watch list of many different companies that just to take a quick browse, 5-10 minutes before the next day's open. You could do it, now or anytime in the evening. Kiefer, you haven't been in the Tesla put credit spread. I think we're at 1020 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a 1020, 1010 put credit spread. And now it's suddenly a little bit in danger because the 1020 is a delta 0.12 because of a 60-point drop today. The delta is only 0.12, even though there's not much cushion anymore for the 1020. It's literally right here. And you see it hit those support levels quite a bit, or hit the stock price. So I was a little surprised the delta was that low. I thought it would have been higher, but there's only 2 days left till expiration. So I didn't close it yet in the stop loss. Here's an interesting one. I looked at this right before close today. So if I try to roll this thing to next week at this point, you could actually get a good credit for it and try to roll at the exact same strike. So we're going to stay at the 1020, 1010, possibly. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet. But if you go out another week to January 14th, you can make 146 credit, which is a good credit, especially considering we made about 30 or so before it. The only problem is you're at the same strikes as you were now. So that is something to consider. It's really hard to lower the strike prices on a credit spread. We could attempt to go around 1,000 to 990 or so, and it might be about break even. I'm just browsing it now to see what it would be. Still a credit. So something to consider tomorrow morning if you're available and you see Tesla's still dropping, you might want to roll it out another week at similar strikes, if not slightly lower if possible, instead of doing the 3x stop, because you'd probably get 3x stopped right away. And 20, yeah, delta 0.12. It's pretty interesting. The longer dated, do you have any others like Roblox or NVDA, any of those?
Let's see. I don't have the Roblox. NVIDIA, yeah, I have NVIDIA.
It was the 280, 285.
Yeah, I'm looking on my phone. It's such small text, I can't read it very good, but I think that's right.
Yeah, that was the same one I recommended. So oh no, that was the put call side. I did a call spread as well as that. 240, 235 looks like.
Yeah, that's what I have. 240, okay. 235. Yeah.
Right now, the delta on that is 14. So just keep your eye on it. When it hits 0.25 or so delta, that's when you want to consider to 3x stop. And I've been doing more of the manual 3x stops instead of just automatic. Because if you put the good till canceled on there, sometimes it fills. And then you're annoyed because it wasn't that close. So I'm personally looking at around 0.25 delta. Maybe just close it out at that point. You can go up to 0.3 delta or so and consider. So the 240 is right here. Still has quite a bit of a cushion, luckily. So 240 to 276. You can just subtract the two strike prices to see how much cushion you have. 236 over 276. We're still at a 13% cushion here, which is still pretty reasonable, I think, especially for only 2.5 weeks. But it did go down almost 6% today. So keep
How do you know what the delta is on it right now on the spread?
Just look at the monitor tab and you can see delta column is, I just memorize where it is, 0.14 right now on the short side. Any other spreads that you have you want me to look at?
Let's see. I have the Iron Condor on IWM.
Yeah, me too. Luckily, that's a big cushion. I think we're still fine. It's still early on. It's not going to move much yet because there's plenty of time for it to possibly move. Where is my IWM? Oh, I think, yeah, here I got it. So the current price is 217 and change. We got a 190 put and a 245 call. If anything, today might have actually helped this because IWM was starting to creep up a little bit towards 220. And then the 245 call was starting to be, I mean, not really that challenged, but getting close. Today might have actually been good for this compared to bad. Yeah, it didn't move really much at all. So right now, the 190 put short side is 10 delta, still perfectly fine. The call side's 4 delta, really safe. I'm liking these a lot more, the longer dated iron condors most of the time for index funds. You know, you could keep them really far away from the money and you don't have to be watching this like a hawk. You watch it like a condor and let it soar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm liking these more and more, to be honest. And there could be some opportunities, especially with the VIX increasing, to get into a few more on QQQ, SPY, even TNA, which is the triple leverage version of this. So that's why right here in the bottom, I keep the VIX just to see what the current price is. There's a good chance it hits 20 tomorrow. And if you see any spikes, if it keeps going up, that's a good time to possibly do these iron condors. Because as the VIX decreases and your volatility goes down, these options are going to be just naturally going to be cheaper anyway. And then you can buy to close them cheaper.
Okay.
What? Oh, I think that's really about it. Have you looked at any of the scanners at all, or ever tried to scan anything?
No.
Okay.
Is that what you do to find some of your ideas?
Some of them, not all of them.
What do you like to put in there? What do you put in the scanner? What do you look for?
I'm starting to consider dividend captures, which is a whole new strategy, but I won't get into that now because I want to delve into it more. For option hacker, again, you go to the scan. A simple scan I do is for monthly. And if you can see my screen, I left the parameters that I just do initial research on. So delta, I don't want anything more than a 0.3 delta. These are for mostly cash secured put side, not spreads necessarily, because these will give a lot of short small cap stocks anyway. So I want 0.3 delta. Sometimes I change the 0.1 delta as the minimum, or it might go even lower than that. Days for expiration, I want a good amount of time, 25 to 45 days. I want to get at least $10 in premium. So I put a bid at 10. Sometimes you see a lot of wacky ones where it's a $5 premium. It's like not even worth your time. And then return on risk, I do minimum 4% if the VIX is close to 20, because I want to get at least 4% of my money on a cash secured put. Sometimes I change this down to 3% if the VIX is low, because you don't necessarily want to be trading aggressively if the VIX is low. Because if volatility spikes up, then these options could be worth a lot more, and you don't want that after you put the position on. And then open interest, just a small 100 here. You don't want to trade stocks with 0 open interest or 1, because then your bid-ask spread's bad. So if I do a scan like that, we get 207 choices, which is pretty, pretty broad base of stocks here. This is one way that I sometimes look for positions is I'll see the same old stocks every day. I did see AMC on there, and that's why I made it as a recommendation. February 18th, it's saying at 14.15. I forgot if I recommended the 15 or even the 16 in the end. Let me check my trade for tomorrow. Yeah, I did the 16, but I actually went earlier. I went to 121 because I'd rather get out of it quick. So when you looked at AMC, 121 is only 2.5 weeks. The 16 strike is right here. And the last time it hit it was May. Obviously, it's a very volatile stock. It could continue to drop for all we know, but it's still a pretty good cushion from 22.75 to 16. And you can make 2% in 2 weeks. So that's why I put that as a recommendation. But again, I go to the scanner here to look at some possible positions. And then I'll go to the charts to see, is there recent support there? Did it just jump up suddenly and there's no reason for it? Is there a pretty good chance it's not going to get to your strike price? Because that's the main goal. Just let it decay down and then get out of it, 50% profit or so.
Gotcha.
Anything else I could help out with?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, just keep on looking at these trades. Keep on, asking questions.
Yeah.
Feel free to start looking at your own. I definitely encourage doing that for members, especially where they're trying to see if a possible trade might work out. I don't have to be offering every trade all the time, but definitely use me as another set of eyes and ears if you might see another position in the future. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
All right. Sounds good, Keith. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. See you. Bye.